Eric Dane, widely recognized for his compelling performances in various television series and films, made a profoundly intentional choice to reveal his diagnosis of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, commonly known as ALS, to the public. This decision came at a pivotal moment in his life, reflecting a shift in his personal philosophy and priorities. ALS is a progressive neurodegenerative disease that affects nerve cells in the brain and spinal cord, leading to the loss of muscle control and, ultimately, severe physical limitations. It's a condition that has no cure and progresses differently in each individual, but it invariably challenges one's physical abilities and emotional resilience. Dane, at the age of 53, succumbed to complications arising from this illness, marking the end of a journey that lasted 10 months from the time of his diagnosis. His passing highlighted the relentless nature of ALS and brought renewed attention to the need for awareness and research into this debilitating disease. In his final public appearance, which occurred during a panel discussion alongside key figures in the ALS community, including the co-founders of Synapticure and I Am ALS, Sandra Abervea and Brian Wallach, Dane opened up about the motivations behind his transparency. He emphasized that sharing his story was not just a personal catharsis but an essential act of advocacy. The actor articulated that it felt imperative to disseminate his experiences as widely as possible, transforming his private struggle into a public platform for education and change. This mindset stemmed from a profound realization that his life had transcended individual concerns. No longer centered solely on his own narrative, Dane viewed his existence through the lens of collective impact, aiming to inspire and inform others facing similar battles or those who could contribute to the fight against ALS. Diving deeper into his reflections, Dane shared insights into his emotional state amid the diagnosis. He acknowledged that, given the gravity of his situation, it would have been understandable for him to retreat into isolation and despair. Imagining a scenario where he might withdraw to his bedroom, succumb to overwhelming grief and remain there for extended periods, he admitted that such a response seemed plausible at first. However, to his own surprise, he discovered an inner strength that prevented him from yielding to that temptation. This revelation was pleasant and unexpected, as it contradicted his initial self-perception. Instead of crumbling under the weight of the prognosis, Dane found himself resilient, capable of maintaining a positive outlook despite the odds. This resilience became a cornerstone of his public message, demonstrating that even in the face of terminal illness, one can choose a path of engagement and hope over withdrawal and defeat. Beyond personal anecdotes, Dane's advocacy focused on raising awareness about ALS itself, what it entails, its symptoms, progression, and the broader implications for patients and their families. He stressed the importance of educating the public on the disease's mechanics, how it begins with subtle muscle weakness or twitching, escalates to difficulties in speaking, swallowing, and breathing, and ultimately requires comprehensive care and support systems. By making people aware, he hoped to demystify ALS, reducing the stigma and fear associated with it. More crucially, he highlighted actionable steps that could be taken to combat the disease. This included supporting research initiatives, funding clinical trials for potential treatments, and advocating for policy changes that facilitate access to care. Dane pointed out the numerous obstacles that patients encounter, such as bureaucratic hurdles in healthcare systems, delays in diagnosis, and limited availability of experimental therapies. He described the landscape as rocky and fraught with unnecessary complications, urging a collective effort to streamline processes and prioritize solutions. Expanding on his career, which provided the platform for his advocacy, Dane's journey in Hollywood began with notable roles that showcased his versatility as an actor. He gained widespread recognition for portraying Dr. Mark Sloan, affectionately known as McSteamy, in the long-running medical drama Grey's Anatomy. His charismatic presence and nuanced performances endeared him to audiences, establishing him as a staple in primetime television. Later, he transitioned to more intense roles such as in the HBO series Euphoria, where he played Cal Jacobs, a complex character grappling with personal demons and family dynamics. This role in particular allowed Dane to explore themes of vulnerability, identity, and redemption, mirroring some of the introspective elements he faced in his real-life health battle. His work in films like Marley and Me and Valentine's Day further solidified his reputation as a reliable and talented performer capable of blending drama with lighter fare. The decision to go public with his ALS diagnosis was not made lightly. It involved weighing the potential invasion of privacy against the benefits of visibility. For celebrities like Dane, such disclosures can humanize them, bridging the gap between their on-screen personas and real-world struggles. By sharing his story, he joined a lineage of public figures who have used their platforms to spotlight health issues, much like Michael J. Fox with Parkinson's or Stephen Hawking with ALS itself. Hawking's longevity with the disease, living for decades beyond typical expectations, served as an inspiration, showing that quality of life and contributions to society are possible even amid severe limitations. Dane's approach echoed this, as he aimed to shift the narrative from one of inevitable decline to one of proactive engagement. In his panel discussion, Dane elaborated on the emotional toll of ALS, not just on the patient but on loved ones. Family dynamics often shift dramatically, with caregivers taking on immense responsibilities. He might have touched upon the importance of support networks, including medical professionals, therapists, and community organizations dedicated to ALS. Organizations like I Am ALS and Synapticure play vital roles in connecting patients, funding research, and lobbying for legislative changes. For instance, efforts to expedite drug approvals through the FDA or increase funding for the National Institutes of Health are critical. Dane's involvement underscored the need for a multifaceted approach, combining medical innovation with social support and policy reform. Reflecting on his mindset, Dane's statement about not being built for prolonged despair reveals a deeper psychological resilience. Psychological studies on terminal illnesses often highlight the concept of post-traumatic growth, where individuals find new meaning and strength through adversity. Dane's experience aligns with this, as he channeled his energy into advocacy rather than self-pity. This shift can be empowering, not only for the individual but for the community, fostering a sense of purpose that transcends personal suffering.